That guy did, oh my gosh! Surprise, motherfucker! What? Oh my god, you're fucking crazy! What is up, you Smex individuals? My name is Birdman778 and welcome to another thematic build video. Today, we're working on this phenomenal build I've been doing with AMARA with using the smog and ties that bind, and we're calling this our Infinity AMARA build. Now, before we get into the video, I want to mention I do stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Birdman778. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're stopping by, checking out all these builds that I'm making on said channel. We have other streams in between there, so make sure you're up to date on my social medias. Twitter.com/Birdman778, Instagram.com/BirdmanGram, and then obviously on YouTube, YouTube.com/Birdman778. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get going. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that this is going to be taking advantage of two different things with AMARA. One, ties that bind, which is her action skill, and then this weapon right here, the smog. The smog is a Hyperion SMG that you can find from Scourge the Invincible Martyr on the Guardian Takedown. It says Haze Amaze, and the ability is damage is amplified while weapon shield is active and at max capacity. Now, weapon shield on Hyperion weapons themselves, they have these shields on them that tend to help give you a little bit of damage reduction, but while that is fully charged, you get amp shots from it. Amp shots, kind of like how the B shield was back in Borderlands 2. It's essentially the B shield put in a gun, and I absolutely love it. And it definitely shows because it's just an absolute powerhouse of a weapon. On this build, we have a shock and corrosive one in use, as well as a redundant face puncher with ASE incendiary, next 2 mags, and then a back burner ASE splash damage 200% for a short time. Now, the reason we have these two, the face puncher mainly because of using personal space in our action skill tree with this as well is super effective. And also, I mean, once you grasp somebody in the air, you can shoot them one time practically with the face puncher if you're up close, and it will absolutely demolish the playing field. And then with back burner, it tends to be our bossing weapon more than anything. So times in the Malawan takedown, especially when we're fighting like the Valkyries or Wotan themselves, we're absolutely just dropping their health bars with this, so it's super effective. In regards to equipment, we're using Transformer with ASE Rad, a Phase Zerker Com with weapon damage, SMG damage, and Malawan weapon accuracy. The weapon accuracy is mainly the mute point on it. The weapon damage and SMG damage obviously just kind of help all the weapons we're using currently, so I ended up picking that. A recurring hex with ASE incendiary, and then a Snowdrift Victory Rush with shock damage, mag size, and AOE damage. Now, reason why we picked all these things and why we call this the Infinity build, because it practically does infinite damage. It's absolute powerhouse of a build. I absolutely love getting to use this. I'm not a huge AMARA fan myself, but this has been really fun to use because I feel like everything's just easy mode at this point. So let's head over into the skill tree and see what we got going on. In our skill tree, as you can see, we're really heavy into blue and red tree, but green tree tends to be the little outlier here. But again, we have those +3 into personal space, so we get that bonus damage closer we are to an enemy. We have +2 into clarity, mainly just to get ourselves down to this bar here, but it goes to +4 with our comm. 1 point into Samsara, just so we get some extra damage with damaging enemies with our action skill. And then helping hands get that damage reduction. In the blue tree, we obviously have +5 into do harm. That's the absolute most important thing here. And obviously we're going to go down here into awakening to get those extra rush stack effectiveness from do harm itself. We have +2 into fast hands just because I like to get just quicker reload speed. I think it's a little bit more beneficial than a clarity, just because +3 into that to get a certain amount versus only the +4 per stack. I know the more stacks you get with do harm with that, it'll help it, but I just think this is a little more effective, and it's less points that you have to spend in the tree. +3 into tapestry, and then transcend +3, relentless +5, ascendant +1, wrath +3, like I mentioned, awakening +3, and then avatar. Now I really like adding avatar into this because it essentially gives us 2 ties that bind to use back to back. this tends to be really effective, especially on the Mount 1 takedown when we're going on the bridge. I feel like that is the absolute biggest point of the entire takedown, because you're having so many enemies constantly around you. You phase lock one person, shoot them, and there still will be so many enemies around you. So phase lock another enemy, shoot them, and you'll at least give yourself some time for your action skill to recharge, as well as give you some breathing room just to regen shields, get your smog back up to the capacity so you get those AM shots and stuff like that. And then in the red tree, we have +5 into Anima with the +1 from Arcom, +3 into Steady Hands, +2 into Infusion. This is mainly just to get us down farther in the tree. Tempest, we have +5, 1 into Dread, 3 into Indiscriminate. This is actually one that Quag recommended that I give it a little bit more of a try. At first I didn't have it any points to that, and then I ended up putting some in there and ended up being super effective for the build. +1 in Deep Well and +1 to Sustainment. Now we got those +2 already into Conflux, which is super effective for us because we don't have to spend the points, but we still get the benefit. And one thing I would also mention is the fact that with the Smog itself, the whole entire idea that I got from it was from our good boy Chadley99. He was really high on this gun, and after watching one of his videos, I was like, I have to use this. It's so awesome to get to try. So definitely go check out his channel as well. And then we have Allure as our augment, just because whenever you have Ascendant, it helps boost up Allure, and then whenever you phase lock an enemy, it brings everybody in, especially whenever you're chucking grenades and stuff, those hexes. It's a rad hex, so it's going to debuff everybody. It's going to get them infused with that rad damage, and then when they explode, it's a huge explosion, which is super awesome. In regards to our Mayhem modifiers, we have we have the Speed Demon going on here. We don't really put any action skill points into anything for speed for AMARA, because we can just take advantage of this, because after one singular phase lock, tie as a bind, you're more likely going to get that 3-time stack effect right there, so you're immediately going to be off to the races. We have Healy Avenger. I feel like this is the mainstay medium. Laser Fair I think is super effective for AMARA because she has enough damage reduction in her tree to kind of negate some of these effects that I tend to feel like Zane can't really take advantage of. And then Buddy System as well. I think this is probably the best very hard modifier, even though some might disagree. I would rather not have to deal with death flying around trying to hit me, but also the fact that whenever you ties a bind enemies and they all get pulled together, once that explosion happens, the Buddy System itself can get destroyed, which in return will kill the enemy that it's giving immunity to. Guys, like I mentioned before, this is an absolute insane build. I call it the Infinity build because of the infinite damage it can do, but it seriously is an absolute powerhouse. I absolutely love getting to use it. I hope to be able to use it some more. Again, big shout out to Chadley and Quag for kind of helping out with this build, giving those pointers and everything throughout. Again, I love being able to take all the answers and help from the community whenever I'm working on these builds on my Twitch channel, so make sure you head over there checking it out. Again, I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. Guys, thank you so much for coming by, checking this out. Hope you have a good day, night, day, whatever it may be, and stay smexy.